Hello, avid readers, book nerds, or casual observers. Welcome to the Read Along, brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Anna.
And I'm Joseph, and this is our read-along of the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Welcome, everyone, to week 4.
Hello. Talking about chapters 12 through 15.
Yeah, 12 through 15.
No
we got some
Damya.
juicy stuff.
Yeah, but no Damya this week.
No Damya chapters.
Which, you know what? This is kind of fine. I feel bad, but there's like a different kind of stress that comes with her chapters that like really gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I don't mind getting a break from that.
For sure. So yeah, it's Syenite heavy, and there is also, was it just the one chapter for Essun? There were 2 for Essun. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
First one's pretty short.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I don't. 13 was Essun.
13 and 15.
Yes. It just staggered, alternated.
So who do you want to talk about first?
I was about to ask you the same thing. Let's do Syenite first.
Yes.
I feel like that's what we did last time. And then we can finish with Essun. Yeah. So, chapter 12, which is titled... Do you have the title handy? Oh, I opened right to it. Okay. Syenite finds a new toy.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm not, but I will open up here. Should we go through? Okay, so chapter 12 is Syenite finds a new toy, and 14 is Syenite breaks her toys. So, apt names for sure.
Indeed. So, yeah, it was, Alabaster wasn't even really there for this chapter at all. He just got kind of sidelined because he's still recovering from his poisoning. So.
Yeah, so we had I appreciated Syenite kind of standing up for herself with I don't even know what that lady's title is.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then she got the lieutenant governor, who she likes very much because she's an old lady who's down to business, but very professional and courteous at the same time.
Yes. If only they had gotten that treatment just out of the gate, it would have saved a lot of headaches. But what's her name just had to be difficult.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So this is the chapter where she's like trying to figure out what they're going to do about the harbor blockage. They float a couple ideas around and get it. Float harbor. They're trying to figure out what to do. She kind of tries to suss it out, and she can't feel like anything with the blockage.
The minute she started to describe it as like a long, like ridge tube thing, I was like, it's gonna be an obelisk. It's underground. That's what's happening.
Buried.
Which that is exactly what happened. She moved the coral and everything around the thing, and then the thing popped out of the ocean.
Yep.
But it's busted.
It's janky. It's all cracked up.
And there's a stone eater on the inside.
Indeed.
Which is fascinating. And does that mean that the ones that are in the sky currently also have stone eaters in them? Do they all have stone eaters in them?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, is it the stone eater that caused it to be damaged? Like, did it like embed itself, or do they all like have a stone eater inside?
This is what I want to know.
Yeah, we'll have to try to find out.
Are the obelisks just big eggs for stone eaters?
In that case, what did Hoa crawl out of?
Maybe it was an obelisk.
Just embedded in the side of the mountain?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I have questions.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of questions that I think have been answered, I have a fun little thing that I think has been revealed.
Okay, I'm curious.
It came about in chapter 12.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to read it and tell me if you ping it. So this is when Syan is talking to Asael, and they're like trying to float the idea of like, whether they should just like move the comm because she's not confident if she can like clear the blockage. They're trying to figure out what to do. Like, we could leave and then break the contract, and then you can use that money to like research what it is. Like, they're trying to figure this out. So she says, basically, this is, let's see. She's looking dead at Asiel when she says this. Asiel's jaw muscles flex. Your harbor will still be usable at least for a few years more. Use that time and the money you saved to either study what's happening and figure out what's down there, or move your comm to a better location. That's not an option, says Asiel, looking horrified. This is our home. Cyan cannot help thinking of a fusty-smelling blanket. Home is people, she says to Asiel softly. Asiel blinks. Home is what you take with you, not what you leave behind.
Oh, I did not catch that. But your theory is that Damya and Syenite are the same person.
They are totally the same person.
Yeah, I did not catch that the first time, but I am on board with you. So that's funny that I said we didn't have a lot of Damya this chapter, but...
I know you said that, and I was like, or did we?
Or did we? I think you are correct.
Yeah.
So we've got some time is weird soup thing happening in our storyline.
For sure.
Here. Interesting.
The timeline is weird, wibbly wobbly. But yeah, I think it's pretty much confirmed by that, in my mind, that Syenite is old Damya.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm going to have to reread this book after we finish it.
Yeah, it seems pretty complex with like all the threads that are being pulled. It's like it's very intricate. Yeah. But like I'm here for it. I'm a fan.
Well, for sure. Me too.
Loving it.
Absolutely.
So,
oh man, I can't believe I missed that. Actually, I can because I was listening to it this morning very early on my drive to work. So it is believable that I missed it, but also
totally fair.
Good catch.
Because it was one sentence. So like if you happen to be distracted like setting your AC, like you it was really short. You'd miss it.
Good catch though. Very good catch.
Thank you. So, yeah, Damya is Syenite confirmed for me. I think I can just say that it's true now. I think it's pretty solid.
So fascinating. Okay, because then so in the next chapter, the next Scion chapter 14, she and Alabaster go down and they're looking at the obelisk. And they're kind of stuck there because the Fulcrum doesn't want them to leave where they are.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot to unpack with that, but I want to talk about the Guardian because Alabaster says to, like, when they first recognize that there is in fact a Guardian there, Alabaster tells Cyan not to let the Guardian touch her with his bare skin, which she seemed like confused by. So did she not put together what her guardian... I can't remember what her guardian's name was now. Did when he touched the back of her neck when he first collected her?
I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fuzzy at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, who knows? But I think it's definitely something to do with that. Like, it gives them some kind of ability to track them
for sure.
if they can touch them. Or who knows what else they can do.
That dude is creepy.
We learned that they can just like turn off your magical powers just with their mere presence. At least some of them can, because she says some of them are special and some of them are extra special and can do like extra weird things. Yeah. And those ones aren't even allowed near the children when they're learning their orogeny. So it's interesting. This is the first encounter with the Guardian that we've had that seemed. I mean, the other one in the Damya chapter still feels pretty sinister now and dark, but this was the first time where it's like, no, I'm trying to kill you now. Like, I'm actually trying. And it was pretty terrifying. He just smiled the whole time, and he was very courteous and polite while he was trying to kill them, and it was it was terrifying.
Yeah, and then it ends with Cyan reaching for the obelisk. With like her,
with her mind powers, with her
metaphysical body or whatever
origin powers,
and should we wait to talk about that moment until after we've talked about the the
Well,
so it's pretty clear that most people do not think about the obelisks as having any kind of
no.
power.
They just think there's some weird sky fixtures.
And Alabaster is very determined for Syenite to not let anyone know that she actually had any kind of connection with the obelisk that she pulled out of the ocean. Because that would be
he
dangerous.
says just tell them you moved the stuff on top of it and it just bobbed out. Like, you don't want them to know that you can connect to it, because that's kind of what happened. She managed to connect to it and it gave her that surge of power she needed to like upheave it. But and then she connects to it again when her life's in danger, in like a desperate plea of, just needing some kind of escape. She connects with it, and in her mind, she's like in front of the stone eater that's stuck inside of it. And I kind of want to.
She wonders
The
if
last
it's
thing
okay.
she says.
It's like she wonders, are you all right, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she kind of answers for herself, like, obviously not. It's stuck in this stone. Like, of course it's not okay. What a dumb thing to wonder. Its skin is like cracking and it's in ruins. And then the stone eater opens its eyes and closes its mouth and looks at her.
Yeah, I'm at that right now. Apparently, so she didn't even say those words out loud.
No, she just
thinks,
thought it.
Are you all right? She wonders, and then blah blah blah. The stone eater closes its mouth, opens his eyes, lowers his head to look at her. I'm fine, he says. Thank you for asking. And then the obelisk shatters.
And then the chapter ends.
And that's her breaking her toys, apparently.
Yeah. She's not. This is where it's weird, right? Because like her body is still where the guardian is, so she's So like it makes sense that she's not using like her voice to like talk to the thing.
It's like an out of body experience.
Very much so. And I'm just so excited for the next Scion chapter so that we can find out what the heck happened after the obelisk
next one is a Scion
shattered.
chapter.
I know. I just
Excited.
I'm excited and wish that we had just read that chapter for today as well. But it's fine. It's good to have cliffhangers.
Yeah, also I smell a conspiracy. So
do you?
Fulcrum's like, no, stay there. Stay there. We don't want you to go anywhere. And then a guardian shows up to kill them. So I think there's the Fulcrum, like higher ups know something about the obelisks, like the leadership knows something about the obelisk that they want to keep hidden. And they flew too close to the sun, and now a guardian was dispatched to do away with them.
Yes.
So I think that I think Fulcrum wants them dead. I think that the main governing body wants both of them gone now because of what they know. I mean, if they knew half the stuff Alabaster knew or thought, they would have already tried to do away with him by now, probably.
For sure.
But he'd been like keeping that under wraps. But now this thing has happened. It's kind of a late in the game for an inciting incident, but that's kind of what this is now. I feel like this really propels their story in a new direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this puts them on, assuming they both survive through the next chapter.
Right.
I think this puts them on a path to become at least friends, like actual friends.
Yeah, like forced. Maybe it's enemies to friends.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not an enemies to lovers trope. But
this is what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking that like this event and this connection now that Alabaster and Syenite have, where they can both connect to the obelisks, I think will bring them closer together one way or another.
Yeah.
And certainly puts them on a path where it's them against the machine, right?
Yeah. And I still like the theory of Alabaster breaking the machine.
I do too.
And he breaks the continent in half. I think that he gets driven into a corner, and I think he just breaks it. I could see him doing that as a character.
And in Essun's second chapter, she's talking with the new comm people, and they're talking about the seasons, and she's predicting that the season that's coming is going to be very long and
Centuries.
very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Which, if Alabaster breaks the continent in half, that makes sense. But we also had an interesting reveal about how orogeny can work for some of the higher ups and like how they feel vibrations, to the point where they can like hear what people are saying based on the vibrations, and like tapping into like the stone.
Yeah, I think Alabaster said it was around his 7th or 8th ring when he was able to start doing that. So once you advance high enough, you get some crazy daredevil powers.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, he said that that's when he started noticing the patterns, but that he had felt the vibrations forever. He just didn't know that's what they were. So now it's possible, now that he's told Syenite about it, that she may start to be able to pick it up a little bit faster. But
yeah. Yep.
It's also quite possible that her very close encounter with a stone eater in an obelisk is going to give her superpowers.
Some stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could. Seems possible.
Indeed. We'll see. Yeah, that's the Syenite chapters. Very juicy. So, yeah. And then we've got the 2 Essun chapters.
Yes. I don't really remember what the first one was about as much as it was just they've decided they're going towards this new comm. And Tonki is the comless woman who has joined them.
And also Tonki confirmed trans.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Oh, yeah. She's like she's washing herself off, and Essun is like, I was surprised to see a penis.
Yes.
But I guess, no one's going to ask her to be a breeder anytime soon, is what she said.
That's funny. I missed that. I thought she was talking about Hoa, and I was like, huh? And then I just like... But it was Tonki. And then, you're right.
It was Tonki. Right. And then in the next chapter, they talk about how Tonki has run out of a potion that she had been drinking, and now she's starting to sprout whiskers that she shaves.
Yes.
And she's frustrated by it.
Yes.
So, yeah, Tonki was having some kind of hormonal treatment. Probably home brewed.
Probably.
Since she's...
No doubt.
Like, just living out in the wilderness, which, like, good for her. Or she had, like, a estrogen dealer. I don't know. But
I wouldn't be... I mean, she seems to know a lot about everything. So I would not be surprised if she was home brewing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For herself.
For sure. But yeah, some cool trans representation.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I like Tonki's character.
It's because I was listening on the drive to work. But
yeah,
I also really enjoy Tonki's character a lot.
I do too. They had an encounter with some other survivors that were at a roadhouse, just kind of talking about the trauma of what happened. We saw something sort of tear off in the north along the horizon. We could see this red light flare up at one point, and then it spread off to the east and west. I couldn't tell how far away, but we could see it reflected on the underside of the clouds. So, I mean, they saw the continent break in half from a distance. Anyway, but yeah, they basically just had some interesting interactions with other survivors. We got some more, like, descriptions of other people that live in the world. So people that are Antarctic, I think, are like white people because they're like blonde and have pale skin, and people that are from the equatorials, like near the equator, have darker skin, similar to IRL.
Sure.
People in colder climates up north, like in Europe, were white, and then people closer to the equator were darker. So that's interesting. But then it kind of ends with Hoa saying that there was a lot of origin people gathered in one place, and they're going to try to go there because Essun thinks that is where mayhaps her daughter was taken. So.
Yeah, but they get there and then they're not there. At least so far as we know, they're not there.
It's a bust.
Nope. We
meet some more people.
Yeah, and we meet another stone eater. Which was...
creepy.
Yeah.
They, like, bared their fangs at each other.
Yeah. Which Essun originally mistook for smiling, and then she realized that it was 100% not a smile.
It was a threat. It was a display of like, force.
Which is so fascinating to me, because you would think that... So are stone eaters just lone creatures that don't even interact with each other? They're, like, doing their own thing?
Who knows, man? I mean, we've got stone eaters and obelisks. We've got stone eaters breaking out of geodes in the sides of cliffs. We've got these people that, like, there was a stone eater next to whoever broke the world in the prologue. There's, like, are the guardian stone eaters? I don't know. There's, like, so much stuff
Yeah.
about the stone eaters we don't know or understand.
Yeah.
So apparently they don't all get along with each other.
Right. That was kind of my point is...
Yeah.
Do they just not interact ever? Are they kind of like feral cats? Do they get together and they just fight? I don't know.
Are there different, like, stone eater factions that work against each other, that don't agree with each other? Maybe, I don't know.
Could be.
But yeah, clearly Hoa and... Did we get a name for the other stone eater? Or is
The
it
blonde
just...
lady. I don't know. She's the blonde woman.
Oh, I thought the blonde lady was the one with the crossbow.
There is...
I don't know.
Oh, no. You're right. It's the red-haired woman.
Okay.
The blonde one is the one with the crossbow, and the red-haired one is the stone eater.
Yes.
In disguise, sort of.
Teeth like diamonds.
Yeah. But hers are clear. Did you catch that? Hers were clear,
Yeah.
And it was like for the first time that Essun notices that Hoa's teeth are colored in like they shouldn't be. And they're also like diamonds. And then it clicks that she never sees him eat. And she's like having all these rapid fire like things that we've been talking about now for weeks, which was kind of fun to see her finally putting the pieces together.
So there was a really powerful moment when Essun hears that her daughter is not there, or her husband. She kind of has a bit of a breakdown. She starts freaking out. And see, here's another... This is weaker, but I think there's... Okay, so my theory before was basically Damya is young Syenite, and Syenite is young Essun. Like, maybe the three are the same person, just living in different times. But... So there is a part of this when she's having her breakdown. Let's see. It occurs to you through a haze of floating, not quite thought that you've been expecting something since Hoa told you about this place. You were beginning to think you would find them here, have a daughter again, be a mother again. Now you know better. And then Essun, hands grasp your forearms. Whose? Tonki. Her hands are rough with hard living. So, like, it seemed like
Tonki was going to call her something else?
Was about to... Because it has S-Essun, like the letter S, like she went to start saying Essun and, like, corrected herself. So I'm like,
wait,
that's super weird.
How would Tonki know that, though?
I know. Well, we haven't seen the rest of Syenite's stuff. Maybe we meet Tonki and don't realize it in other Syenite chapters. Tonki is the Stone Eater in the obelisk in disguise.
There is something going on with Tonki, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think it's possible. I mean, yeah, you're right. We haven't seen all of Syenite's chapters. It could be that Tonki is part of that. I don't know.
Maybe she's one of the geomists that shows up to study the obelisk when...
Right. Because the geomists are flooding in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's pretty clear at this point that Tonki is a geomist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she basically confirmed it. She's like, well, we're done keeping secrets, right? Because she, like, prattles off all this technical stuff about, like, how it could be possible for a season to last centuries. But, so currently my working theory is still that they're all the same person. Damya is Syenite, is Essun. But, we... Like, the timeline is weird. We haven't met Tonki yet in the Syenite chapters, but I think we will. And I think that the reason Essun changes her name and like goes to live in this small town off the beaten path is because she's on the run from Fulcrum,
Which makes
which we
sense.
see.
Which makes sense.
Which we see, yeah.
And we've also had parts of Essun's chapters where she'll make hints about having been part of the like greater origine like structure. She's had a guardian before. She's done all the things.
So, you know what my next question is? Is her daughter Alabaster's kid? Like, are her kids her husband's kids, or did she have them when she went there, or like was she pregnant? I don't know.
No, because like, they've got to be Gija's kids, because in that when she was having her freak out, she was talking about how she should have told Jija right away what she was, because then if he was going to freak out, it would have been on her and not her kids.
That's fair.
I'm pretty sure they're Gija's children. I don't think they're Alabasters.
Yeah. Okay.
I would be willing to bet that she hasn't thought about Alabaster in a very long time. At the point when she's Essun.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll see. There was a moment, you know, when she was talking about how this season's going to last for centuries. Like, she says it so matter-of-factly, like she knows something that other people don't know.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she knew that this was Alabaster's plan to break things if he couldn't fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And when this happens, maybe she does know, like, oh, that was him. He finally did it. Mm-hmm. We're going to be like this for a while now, because he was a 10-ringer, sucking up the power of all of Fulcrum in the city, and he broke the continent. But this is my working theory.
Has Essun made any comments about rings?
I don't think so. I haven't noticed anything, but again, maybe a reread would be illuminating. Yeah, I don't think so, though.
Essun just seems so different from Syenite.
Yeah.
Like, Essun has been, if they're the same person, she has been so beat down and diminished.
Yeah.
Because Syenite is so vibrant and confident.
This is all before the encounter with this guardian, though, and them being on the run from Fulcrum. I think we're going to see a big shift in her demeanor.
Yeah.
Maybe she starts to be more Essun-like.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We'll see.
You know, this is the first book in a series.
It is. It's a trilogy.
I think that does not bode well for us ending on a not cliffhanger.
Well, it's really good, so I'm going to keep reading them for sure.
Ditto.
Oh, Ditto. Man.
They're very good.
So, way to keep us guessing, N.K. Jemisin.
For sure.
You are dastardly, and I respect you. So
immensely.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, they're going to go hang out with these other comm people, and that's pretty much where we're at. Well, she wonders if maybe her daughter and husband are like disguised in there, but she's not like confident in that. But yeah, they're gonna hang out with this origin-filled comm for a bit.
Dude, the genius of having the only present tense timeline being in second person and everything that's in third person being in the past.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So genius.
Mm-hmm.
If that is in fact what is happening.
Yeah, it's very cool. Oh, man, there's just... my mind is still spinning with theories. It's such a fascinating read.
I mean, look, we did say something in like week 1 or 2 about what if they're all the same person. So I'm just gonna like give us a pat on the back if we were right.
For sure.
We might not have been right, but I'm pretty sure we're right.
Well, we're for sure right that Damya is Syenite. I think that's just... if that's not the case and that like blanket sentence was like a misdirect, that would really surprise me.
Yeah.
So I
Agreed.
think that that's confirmed. I mean, how do we get from Syenite to Essun? That's the main question. But I think that Tonki slip up is telling. I think that maybe that was, yeah, maybe Essun knew Tonki pre-transition.
And so she doesn't recognize her?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. We could speculate all day, but I think that, man, there's just so much to speculate about.
Yeah.
But man, I'm excited though and super pumped to see what happens next.
Ditto. Oh man. Okay.
So speaking of what happens next, so we're reading from 16 to...
To the interlude.
Okay.
Do not read the interlude.
Okay. So that is...
So it's 16 through I think it's 19. Let me double check.
There is no table of contents.
Yeah, through 19.
Okay.
16
through 19. Cool. Awesome. Well, 4 chapters. Not the interlude, 4 chapters. So, man, we'll see what happens next.
There's still 2 weeks left.
2 weeks left?
Yep.
Snap, crackle, pop. All right. So maybe we'll get another Damya chapter next time. We'll get some more creepy backstory with her. Yeah, we'll see. For sure, more Syenite stuff. So, yeah, I guess until next time, everyone, happy reading.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Later.
Bye.